You know, the uh, the way I kind of feel about what's going on in the world. I know I'm not the only person that sort of notices things, but for some reason it's like seems like I notice more things, but than most people. But maybe that's just because I've had too much time on my hands or whatever. And I've been researching things since I was 11 years old, 1995. So I've been seeing through the bullshit for a long time. And I can remember things. I still have memories from when I was a little kid. I can remember. I have some memories. Like I can remember one time sitting in a high chair and flinging uh, macaroni and cheese across the room with a spoon and just laughing my ass off. You know. I have memories from way back. Not everything, but bits and pieces. So it's like I can remember how different the world was. So different, so much better in basically every conceivable way. I mean, the way the world is today versus the way it was back in the 80s and 90s, and it's like not even close to being the same planet. It's like we're in some kind of freaking hellscape, hell dimension or something now compared to that. It was. And the further back you look in history, like the people who are the boomer generation or whatever, like they basically grew up in freaking heaven or something. Compared to us. Uh, and God, I can't even imagine the. Could you imagine? I mean, I guess there's probably younger people that might listen if anyone hears this. I'm so sorry for you guys, for the younger generation that were born after 9/11 and stuff. Like, the absolute shit show that you guys had to live with. And the guys that are like, people that are like in their early 20s or teenagers or something right now, like, it's horrible. And the kids, man, oh my God, the little kids and stuff now having to had to be, go to grade school or whatever the last few years, and all this crazy crap going on in the world. That's, I can't imagine. Just, I mean, the sort of things that they've had to endure. Like, could they ever be saved from just this barrage of brainwashing and ridiculousness that's gone on? That's the kind of trauma that they put us through over these years, especially since 2020. But things have really been got crazy ever since 9/11, especially. It was a whole other world before that, man. Whole other world. I mean, okay, there was some apocalyptic talk of the year 2000 and all that sort of stuff. Oh, computers are gonna shut down, all this other crazy crap. But it's just, there's always been crazy stuff going on. There was crazy stuff going on in the 90s, like Waco and all that other stuff. A lot of messed up stuff happening even back then, but it was different, you know. There was still a lot more freedom. It was so different. Even though there was like the march of tyranny was already happening, you know, it had been on for a long time. But I think the U.S. basically was taken over, and not just the U.S. but pretty much the world. I think that it was essentially taken over about 100 years ago, but it's just been like a long process. World War One, whatever this power that came in and took everything over was, it's just been busy consolidating power for over 100 years, getting rid of all the opposition and just taking over more territory, and until now it's just like naked tyranny out in the open, naked evil out in the open. And it's just, I mean, it's flaunting in our face, you know. And it's just crazy. I don't. And it's like most people are just in some kind of deep state of hypnosis, just going about their lives like everything's fine, and people don't even seem to notice most of the time. Most people don't even seem to notice how completely crazy everything has become, how distant and cold the world has become, how separated from humanity. I mean, like, there's you can't even, there's like no human contact, like real human contact hardly anymore. People run into each other, and I mean, even people that I have so many similar experiences with, and that totally probably have a lot of stuff in common, I can't even really talk to any of those people hardly, because it's like you can't reach out to anyone, and there's no trust, and we're also damaged from just years and years of torture and isolation, that we don't even know how to communicate properly anymore, you know? And we're afraid to trust anybody. And it's like, damaged. I gotta be real. I mean, I am kind of like damaged goods, you know? Because things have just got so crazy for so long. And it's like I've seen through the veil, you know? And you don't come back from that. There's some things you see and you experience that you can never unsee them. You can never pretend like everything's fine again, you know? It's just, so messed up, you know? And it's kind of inconceivable to see what goes on, and to see how just messed up everything is. To see how far humanity has drifted away from consciousness and normalcy. So lost, so lost. There's just this sense of impending doom just looming on the horizon. And so many people just seem to be asleep at the wheel. Like, some people. There's a song by John Prine. Some humans ain't human. Some people ain't kind. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Might go to church, sit down in a pew. Those humans who ain't human be sitting right next to you. Talk about your family, talk about your clothes, but they don't know their own ass from their own elbows. Jealousy and stupidity don't equal harmony, right? But I mean, it's really what it feels like. It feels like we're in a world now where everything has changed. It's like, I'll list a few movies off that. Remember The Faculty? Or Invasion of the Body Snatchers? How about Disturbing Behavior? These are all movies from like the 90s. Most of the two of them were from the 90s. But like that's kind of what it feels like. I feel like it feels like most of the world has just been like possessed by demons or body snatched by aliens or whatever, and then most of the rest of the people have been like hypnotized, and they're in like a literal hypnagogic state, in a trance. And and you just can't wake them up. And that even goes for like I'm talking about the majority, man. Even the majority of people that seem to be like far more awake and aware of things than most, there's still like this block where even they are kind of deeply unconscious of the level at which what's going on, and it's frightening. I was watching just a descent into madness and tyranny in this world, and it's I never could have dreamt. I mean, I never could have imagined that the world could ever possibly get this evil and this messed up. It's insane. It's just, I don't even know what to say about it. It's like, it's like a freaking science fiction. It's like I'm living in a fucking sci-fi horror movie or something. It's crazy. It's been completely fucking isolated and cut off from human interaction and human emotion and just love and from any sense of peace. The world outside is getting so strange and so crazy that most of the time if I like had a whole bunch of money or something, honestly, I might turn into some kind of like Howard Hughes or something and just, you know, I'd build a freaking fortress of a house with a wall around the property and just lock myself in there with a bunch of security systems to try and keep the outside world out. Stock up on years and years worth of food and water and just don't go anywhere anymore. Just stay in my cave and hope the world sorts itself out. I don't know. It's just. It would certainly be a temptation. I just grow a big garden and work up projects around the house and mow the lawn and stuff like that and listen to music and read and just hold up and try to survive into the future and hope that some sort of miracle happens to save us. I don't know, man. Without some kind of miracle, I don't know how I'm gonna manage not to end up homeless or dead or something in a number of years. I don't know. I'm scared, man. But it is what it is. It's too fucking expensive to live basically now for you just gotta to live in any kind of decent way, then I end up living in a car or sleeping in a tent in a fucking woods under a bridge or something or whatever. It's like that's where a lot of people are ending up. I don't want to end up there. No, nobody does. But I've seen lots of people that trying, working 2 jobs and living in beat up, worn out camp trailers and stuff, or it's just, it's like a straight up biblical apocalypse or something, man, but beyond any sort of thing that it could have imagined. I mean, I'm just waiting for the dragons and giant Nephilim to start eating people or something, you know? And it wouldn't surprise me at all if that happened. And then if you see most of the other people around just like acting like it's perfectly normal. Waiting for the politicians to like rip off their masks, revealing, alien faces or demon horns and tails or something, It's fucking crazy. I don't know, man. Hope for a miracle. All right, then.